All right, I'm back. First video I've made in, other than the intro video I just made a few minutes ago, first video I've made in at least a year, probably a year and a half. And I apologize in advance if this video is pretty amateurish. I can take great pictures, but video I'm very new to, so as I self-educate on that and all that, these will get better. As far as lighting, I'm sure the windows behind me are blown out and all that, just from the light outside versus light inside. But anyways, that's not why you're here. I've never claimed to not be opinionated, so that's kind of one of the things I'm going to talk about, something I am very opinionated, and it's about EVPs and a certain EVP reporter that people pay stupid amounts of money for and that they swear by, and you know, I think they're just matrixing, they're pareidolia. At the best case scenario, these people are passing off Class C and crappy Class B EVPs as Class A EVPs. The recorder I'm talking about is an old recorder. It's no longer made. It was called the Panasonic RR-DR60. It's garbage. It is junk. However, people pay upwards of $1,200 for this EVP, or audio recorder I should say, and they use it on these investigations. You can see it on some of the TV shows. My point with the Panasonic RR-DR60 is I have listened to tons of them on YouTube, and I have never found an EVP recorded on one of these that merits spending $1,200 on it, let alone $10. The audio quality of these is so garbled you can't make out anything it says, and that's why I get grumpy when I see people passing these off as Class A's and saying, oh, this is what it said. You clearly have a different definition of Class A than what I think. Class A is crystal clear, unmistakable, quality content, whatever you want to say. If you want to see some great Class A EVPs, check out the other EVPs on my page. These are the ones I've collected over the past 4 years or so, and they're fantastic. They're the cream of the crop. They're why I drive hundreds of miles, sometimes to go to these investigation places and get absolutely nothing. Because when I do capture these EVPs, they are fantastic to me, and they are also the closest thing I have to incontrovertible, if that's even the right word, or undeniable proof of something more than what we can see as reality existing. These EVPs people pass off as Class A's. They're Class B, minor, lower Class B EVPs at the best that I've heard. Typically they're Class C's, and they're to the point where if I was making a video, like a documentary, Brandon makes all of ours, I don't know if I'd even include them. I would maybe include them and say, we don't know what this is, we have no clue what it's saying. Our recorder's a piece of junk that we paid $1,200 for, and we think it's amazing. So we're going to include it in this here. All I'm saying is, and I realize this might get me flamed, I've only got like maybe 20 people on my channel. It's not something I advertise much, so not sure how many people will even see this. If other investigators see this by it getting shared or something, great. This is kind of to get this off my chest and get my thoughts documented somewhere, but all I'm saying is if you're an investigator and you're hearing about these EVP recorders, please do your research before you buy it. Go on YouTube, Google search Panasonic RR-DR60 EVP. Just type in all the tag words and keywords. See what you come up with, and then you're impressed. If you're impressed enough to spend $1,200 to you for it, I'll let you know when I find one of these at a garage sale or a yard sale, because I would love to go to yard sales and garage sales. Find somebody selling some old thing that from an estate sale from their parents, saying we'll sell this for $5, not knowing that people will spend stupid amounts of money on it. I go buy it for $5. I immediately turn it around on YouTube and sell it for $1,000 or more. I mean, that's just ridiculous markup for something that's junk and that they don't even make anymore. If it was a great recorder, actually let me rephrase that, so they've updated it and they've got the other Panasonic whatever ones out there. I'll tell you what, my recorder, I think I spent $70 for it, so it's not a cheap one, but I think it was like $60 or $70 new. We were doing Lemp Mansion in St. Louis, Missouri, our hometown, and I was brand new to investigating then. Our main investigator's EVP recorder crapped out that day or the night before, so we needed one. So I went to Best Buy or Micro Center, bought one, and I wanted to make sure it was a decent one, so I bought one, for 60 plus bucks, and we've had amazing results with it. The biggest part of an EVP, capturing an EVP, I'm firmly convinced is luck. Being in the right place at the right time with the right equipment, I guess. So long as your recorder can actually capture audio in a quality, recording format. I'd only set mine to, I think, 320 kilobits per second. It's very clear when I capture anything. And on top of that, we're able to hear ourselves when we're talking very quiet. If you can hear that noise there, that's my dog. I don't think he'll get in the frame here. But, my thing is here, some people flame me on this. I don't really care. I adhere to a strict set of standards when it comes to EVPs. A lot of times I'll capture stuff in my audio that I can't really explain, but I can't say it's paranormal. I can't even say it's unexplainable. It could be like the heating duct or something. But that's more of a different type of sound than a sound wave coming from a voice or a vocalization or pronunciation or syllable. But these Panasonic RR-DR60s, I guess to end the video, because I'm probably starting to repeat myself, number one, not worth $1,200 to me. You'd have to pay me to buy it from you. And number two, if you do find one for cheap, buy it and sell it, and then go out and buy some interesting equipment, which I'm also skeptical of. But say buy an SLS camera, go out and buy one of those, which I'm also skeptical of. I'm not going to say that I think they're amazing just yet, but they're very interesting to me, and that's at least something that I find interesting versus this audio recorder that captures garbled crap audio that people pay crazy amounts for because they don't have either the ears, standards, or I'm drawing a blank for the last word here, but the ability to properly identify a Class A. I guess the honesty. I think a lot of people, what it comes down to, and this is something that I might get flamed for too if more people see this, they go drive hours away, 5, 6, 9+ hours, and they get nothing. So rather than get nothing, they take crap and package it and sell it to people, not really sell it, but present it to people as this amazing evidence of communication with something beyond what our five senses can realize. I realize this video is dragging along a lot longer. I can't get winded, but my point is here, be an honest investigator. And I'm not saying pass stuff off as that's not real as real evidence, but be honest with yourself. Just because you drove 9 hours doesn't mean you should stretch what you consider good evidence. Part of the reason why a lot of people in this field are kind of looked down upon, maybe, is because some of the crap people put out there as good, legitimate, convincing or compelling evidence, when it's nothing, it's junk. Ask yourself if you played this to somebody that actually had common sense and logic and skeptical reasoning skills, if they would say, oh, that's amazing, or they're going to say, most of them when they listen to this Panasonic RR-DR60 stuff, they're going to say, I don't know what this is. It sounds like somebody stepped on a turd in a wet field or something. That made no sense. But you can see my opinionated hard-headedness coming out when I said that. If you listen to my Class A EVPs, I get an EVP like this, the ones I've got on my page, like 1 out of every 6 investigations. I will say in 2015 and 16 we were on a roll and just capturing legendary stuff. Like our Come to the Master EVP, it's one of the best I've ever heard, and we were lucky to be at the right place at the right time with a good recorder that could capture it clearly. So I think I've probably said my point here. I don't know how many people will watch this. I don't know if I'll get hate messages from people. However, if you want to be, because at the same time, I am hard-headed, and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying we should stick to standards here. Label a true Class A, a Class A Class B, a Class C. In Class C's, best case scenario, notate it and say, we don't know what this is. I typically throw Class C's out. But I was about to wrap up there with a nice little bow tie. So I'm trying to catch my thoughts here. I really wish I remembered what I was going to say. That's really it, though. If somebody wants, I know what I was going to say. If somebody wants to debate me on this, please point me to a Panasonic RR-DR60 clip on YouTube or something, that is an EVP for sure, or as close to as what we can consider an EVP. I realize when you're listening to somebody else's audio, you don't know the sound of their voice. Most EVPs have a pretty characteristic breathy, sometimes electronic-y sound. Not always. Every once in a while, they sound almost like this. I've never had one this loud, but if you look at the ones on my page, if you were in our group and knew everybody that was in that room when it was recorded and heard the qualities and characteristics of this EVP, you would know it was none of us. So that's my thing. If you've got a Panasonic RR-DR60 and got stuff that'll change my opinionated, hard-headed mind, please let me know. Even if you do have stuff that's good, at least I'll say that's a great EVP. But I'm still never going to say this is worth $1,200 to me until somebody wants to either give me one or I find one for $5 or something, cheap. I would spend even $60 for one, not $100, I don't think. And if I were to take it to a location where we're doing EVP sessions and put them side by side and see if that one captures stuff next to my Sony, which is a Sony PCD IX3333. They've upgraded it since then. I don't think they make that model. And then I would basically compare them, and if I found stuff that I thought was good, I would change my tune. But at the same time, I've done my research. I'd love to be proven wrong. There's one other thing I was forgetting to say, but I originally intended for this to be like a 3-minute video, not whatever this is now, like 10 minutes. So if you watched this whole time, thanks. Sorry for being so opinionated, but at the same time, I think it's really important that we as, truly skeptical investigators adhere to a set of standards. And the Panasonic RR-DR60 doesn't meet them as far as I'm concerned, both in audio quality and just all across the board. So anyways, thanks for watching. I'll have plenty more of these hopefully coming up soon. Thanks.